Right now, people should not be walking. There's no reason to be walking around with a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask might make people feel a little bit better, and it might even block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is. And often, there are unintended consequences. People keep fiddling with the mask and they keep touching their face.
There won't be a vaccine passport.
No, that's not being planned.
At all, ever.
Not
happening. Not happening, zipped and I don't know.
I certainly am not planning to introduce any vaccine passports, and I don't know anyone else in government.
Okay.
What I don't think we will have in this country is, as it were, vaccination passports to allow you to go to, say, the pub or something like that. I think that would be going it a bit. There is absolutely no question of people being asked to produce certification or COVID status report when they go to the shops or to the pub garden or to the hairdressers or whatever.
Vaccines are not mandated in this country, as Boris Johnson's quite rightly reminded Parliament. You know, that's not how we do things in the UK. We do them by consent, and it would be discriminatory.
There are complicated ethical and practical issues, as I think I said last time, raised by the idea of COVID status certification. We're planning to make full vaccination the condition of entry to nightclubs and other venues where large crowds gather.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker, on which I have given you notice, and I've also notified the Leader of the House of Commons. You'll be aware yesterday a statement was made at the dispatch box by the Parliamentary Under-Secretary at the Department for Health and Social Care about vaccine passports, and there's a relevant piece, Mr. Speaker, which potentially pertains to the House of Commons. He said, by the end of September, everyone aged 18 and over will have had the chance to receive full vaccination and the additional 2 weeks for that protection to take hold. So at that point, we plan to make full vaccination a condition of entry to nightclubs and other venues where large crowds gather. Proof of a negative test will no longer be sufficient. Now, it seems to me, Mr. Speaker, particularly on a Wednesday, when we get back to normal, that definition could equally apply to this House of Commons. It would be outrageous if the executive were to attempt to prevent any member of Parliament attending this House to represent our constituents without first undergoing a medical procedure. Now, Mr. Speaker, I raised it with you because I hope you'll be able to make a ruling on this matter. And in closing, I would just note that your 17th century predecessor, Speaker Lenthal, stood up very effectively against an overmighty executive. And it didn't end well for the overmighty executive.
It did lead to the end of the monarchy as well, I might have, for a short period. So let's hope we're not quite going back that far. What I would say is I'm very grateful for the honourable member giving me notice, and I've had no indication that government considers the policy he has mentioned should apply to this House. What I would say, Speaker of this House, there is nothing to stop a member coming into here. You have the right to come to this House unless this House otherwise says so. And I've got to say, the government's not been in touch. I don't expect them to be in touch because, as far as I'm concerned, it doesn't apply to members.